Yo, what's good, gang? All right, so check this out. Got a new video for y'all, different type of reaction. So, if anyone of you have ever heard of Ricky Williams? Ricky Williams, yes, that's right. Ricky Williams was one of the first guys in the NFL to ever say, weed ain't bad. He was shunned, ridiculed, and high all the time while playing. But no, for real, Ricky was one of those dudes that was really first in the NFL to ever really speak about weed not harming players. So before the Josh Gordon and before weed getting legalized, Ricky took the brutal end of the stick when it came to this weed stuff. So we're gonna tap in with Ricky Williams. He is on the No Jumper podcast, and he's gonna tell us about how he fell in love with smoking this good old broccoli, if you know what I mean. So if it's your first time at the channel, go ahead and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get to it. Ricky Williams, tell us how you got hooked on the good old devil's lettuce.
So it started off like most kids. I grew up in, especially in our neighborhood, where my auntie, she would put us in the car and go pick up dime bags. And my stepdaddy,
already on some hood shit, not even 10 seconds in. My auntie used to put us in the car and go pick up dime bags. He said, I was already around it, grew up around it.
Every day after work, you come home, pull out his little yellow tray, roll a couple and smoke. So it was like in the home, it was a natural part of the life. But when I go to school, they tell us
upon.
Exactly. And then when I got into sports, it was even more frowned upon. All the coaches said if you smoke pot, you're a loser.
Right.
And then, of course, I was trying to, be a athlete,
right.
And so I was trying to be good because being an athlete is like two, especially us growing up. It was two parts. One, you got to be good at your sport, but two, you got to be good. Right. You got to stay out of trouble. That's what they say. You got to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, you got to stand out.
Yeah,
he talked about walking that fine line, between being an athlete and being good.
I meant stay away from drugs.
That drug stuff is always. So they always say that.
I was trying to make it in the sports path, so I stayed away from drugs. And then one day, I think I was a junior in high school, and I was a big Bob Marley fan, obsessed with Bob Marley.
Sweet.
But I wasn't smoking. I just loved the music and the message. But I was an athlete, so I was on the straight and narrow until. I was a junior in high school, and Ben Kotnick, the smartest dude in school, Jewish kid. And everyone just assumed that I smoked because it was in San Diego and I was always wearing Bob Marley stuff. So he invited me to his house at lunch to smoke. And, I just went along and pretended like I had done it. Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then, I hit the bong and I coughed my brains out, and then I went back and I had physics.
Dang. So he basically was a big Bob Marley fan, if you didn't catch that. And people assumed he smoked because he was a big Bob Marley fan. He said he didn't care for the smoking because he knew he couldn't smoke because he was an athlete. So he cared about more of the Bob Marley message. Well, people stigmatized him and assumed he smoked weed. And he talked about he took a big bong grip for the first time. Boy, we're smoking on that Reggie. You taking bong grip?
I remember sitting in physics class thinking, I don't know why people do this. Like, I have no idea what is going on. And then I was like, okay, I've done it, but it wasn't something that I was doing all the time. But if I was around the friends, of course, I hit it a couple times, and yeah.
Do you remember what strain it was?
Okay, I'm old, so back then we didn't know. It was probably something he got from his big sister.
Fucking dirt weed. I remember
the backyard boogie.
Exactly. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Okay.
But he had money, so it was probably something nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but then when I went to college, mainly in the off season, but when the guys were just hanging out, the upperclassmen in the room, playing cards, shooting dice, they were passing the blunt around,
right.
And so they invited me. I felt like, okay, I'm one of the dudes.
One of the guys.
Exactly.
You know what he said? College, they already smoking that good. In the rooms during the off season, they all getting high in the off season. We already know this. I think it's just crazy to hear it coming from an ex NFL player to really know that it really goes down. Now they all hush hush. I want to make it not as bad, but man, bro, he got brutalized for bro.
And then I just
He
noticed
was like
that
the hippie ball player.
it was cool. We just were all having a good time. And then I didn't think anything of it.
Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's
Exactly.
drunk, falling over the place. You know, it's a good blaze.
Exactly.
It's a good high.
And it was a college, so it started to be kind of those things that sometimes if it's around, you enjoy and everyone has a good time.
Right.
But it wasn't until my senior year in college. I came back from my senior year because I could have left and been a first round pick. Came back from my senior year because I wanted to win the Heisman Trophy. So I put all my eggs in one basket. I said, I'm coming back
That's
to
the
do
only
it.
reason
So
he
you
came
guys
back.
know the Longhorns. Just so you know, because some viewers might not know where you played and where you got the Heisman at.
Yeah, I
So,
went to University of
Yeah,
Texas.
he went to UT. Probably one of the greatest running backs ever in Texas history. Some say he's not. Some say he is. I think personally, he is the greatest running back in Texas football history. That's just me. Not Texas football, but University of Texas. For you haters.
Texas. I came back from my senior year because I wanted to win the Heisman. So season started off kind of rough. You know, I had a couple bad games. Me and my girl broke up. She started dating the quarterback on the team. So I was at this point where I was like, why did I come back for this shit? Like, I was like, you know, I was having these fantasies. I could be, you know, making millions of dollars doing this shit on the law, but I'm here dealing with this bullshit. And I was like having one of those. And I know if you have that kind of attitude, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
And so my roommate, he was a smoker, and he said, he got his bong out, and he said, dude, you need to just chill. And he slid me the bong, and I hit it a couple times. And I wasn't expecting this, but I remember I went up to my room and I laid on the bed and I noticed that I wasn't obsessing about the bad game or I wasn't obsessing about my girl.
Yeah.
I just was feeling good. And then my mind started to think about positive things.
Exactly.
Positive
where you
things.
needed to be.
Exactly.
What you needed to be thinking about.
Exactly.
Wow.
And true
That's
story. Next 2 weeks of that season, back-to-back 300-yard games. Okay.
Do y'all hear this? 300. Ricky Williams just explained to you what marijuana did for him in a serious moment in his life. Took all of that negativity and it came between positive thoughts.
He basically saying he was tripping until he hit that bong. And once he hit the bong, all his problems went away. He didn't care about his bad game. He didn't care about the QB taking his girl. He didn't care about none of that. He was all like, shit, I ain't even tripping. I ain't in the league, even though I know I'm supposed to be in the league. It made him forget about everything and all his stresses, and he got to refocus. That's how I feel. I think he got to refocus.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's real. And so that was the first time where I had like a experience where I was like, okay. But still, so I was smoking a little bit more and I was more interested into it. But it wasn't until after my second year in New Orleans, I broke my ankle, and at the time one of my old college roommates was living.
What people don't know is they
he
tried.
was
New
playing on
Orleans
the
got
Saints
the house
too,
to
and he
get
was a
him.
smoker.
They traded
so,
up.
and my homegirl from high school was living in my pool house, and she was a smoker. So it was like every day I would come home from school, and it would just be like, Telly, roll up.
Yeah.
We'd go in the back and just like chill. And again, I wasn't like, I didn't realize what was going on, but I was like letting go of the bullshit from the day, getting my mind right so I can come back and do it again the next day.
I think that's what a lot of smokers do. Me personally, I know for a fact, I definitely use weed to wind down from work, wind down from the kids, wind down from my YouTube stuff, and just to relax. You feel me? Weed ain't bad at all. I ain't even gonna call it a drug, a substance, nothing. Weed ain't even a hint of bad, bro. Again, it has that old sentiment on it that it's the gateway drug and this and that. Me personally, I feel like if you're gonna do weed, you're gonna do weed, and if you're gonna do anything else, that's on you. Ain't nobody tell you to do nothing. Nobody told me to hit the blunt. I hit the blunt. Nobody told you to hit that. You did that. You feel me?
Did that affect you with like your training? Because clearly it didn't. Your work ethics. You feel what I'm saying? But did you ever feel sometime where it was just like, I gotta slow down on bud when I go play? You feel what I'm saying? Like your performance, it never
But
messed with you.
at the time, I wasn't going that hard. It was just like an after work routine to help get my mind right
It was
and
just
to
relax.
go.
It was
And
his getaway.
so this was during the season, okay? But so I started smoking during the season, so I had a rhythm. But then after the season, there's always the off season, and you got a lot of free time.
got a lot of free time.
And so the off season, I end up getting traded to Miami, and I get to Miami, and there's some. Compared to New Orleans, there's some nice, some
Good ass.
I was just gonna say that jump from it was some better
everything. Okay, so I mean, no,
That
like,
Gafferton.
New Orleans is wonderful, but just Miami is a special place. So I'm in
Yes, it
Miami,
is.
and I'm like training. I just got traded. I got a brand new start in Miami, a really good team. And I'm like getting really focused about my diet, getting really focused about my training, and I'm starting to smoke more. Okay, it's like starting to become a more part of my like
regular
my
routine.
routine. Starting to become where I'm actually buying it. Like I'm buying ounces.
So buying weed and smoking weed became regular to him, just like any of us. You know what I mean? Any of us that smoke weed, it becomes the norm. It becomes your regular bill. It's your weed money is in your funds somewhere in there already when the check hits. You know what I mean? And that's what he said. He started buying because he knew he was gonna want it. He said, I'll start buying. Oh,
Now, right?
Oh,
for the first
shit.
time, you know, like I'm in, okay, and then and here,
Ricky Williams is buying the
he was out
ounce.
there buying.
but here's what got me though. Here's what got me is when I was in New Orleans, the NFL's drug policy is they test you one time a year, and they test you. And so in New Orleans, they tested us in training camp.
Okay.
We get to training camp, we get that note under our door, we take our test, and we're good for the year.
Okay.
I got traded to Miami, and no one told me because no one knew I was a smoker. So no one told me that they test in the off season. So I got to work
and that's
one day.
Off season is when it's cracking.
Yes, and so I got to work. So I got to work one day, and dude said, "Okay, you got a drug test today," and I was like, "Damn."
Damn. So he was smooth while he was in New Orleans. And then when he got traded to Miami, fuck, nobody put bro on game. That's fucked up. Whoever was on Miami at that time, that's fucked up. But then again, he said nobody knew he was a smoker. So that's him keeping his business to himself and thinking everybody does shit the same way. That's damn, Ricky. Damn, bro.
And I kind of knew they got me. And so once they get you on that test, they put you in the program, and you're in the program for 2 years. And for those 2 years, you get drug tested 9 times a month, and you got to go see a therapist once a week.
9 times a month.
Yeah, and
2
if you,
years.
And if you travel, you got to tell them where you're going. You got to give them the address. Tell them how long you're going to be there, and they can test you anywhere.
All right, guys, we hit 50,000.
God damn, that's crazy. Shout out to No Jumper for that though. So Ricky basically said the only reason he got caught up is because he didn't know their protocol. So he would have worked out, got the weed out his system if he would have knew they did off season. He didn't think they did it. Damn. But then after that, he started getting that stigma. You feel me? And I think he got caught up multiple times for smoking weed. So, you know, that's his stigma with the NFL. He's the weed smoker. Me personally, I feel like he's one of the more not so talked about advocates in the NFL about weed. Because honestly, it's everywhere now. Like I live in AZ. This shit is recreational. Like I'm big chiefing, you feel me? But it's not the same everywhere. But at least with their sports, they should give them some leeway. Like these are millionaires, bro. Y'all babysitting millionaires. You're already babysitting them. Like, come on, bro. Like this weed ain't hurting nobody, but it's to each their own. They run that shit. I don't. I just watch. I'm gonna keep big smoking. You feel me? But yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe, click that bell. Tell me how y'all feel about the NFL, its weed policies, and how y'all feel about Ricky Williams himself and this interview. But that's gonna do for this one. Y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click that bell, all that good stuff. This your boy Weasel, and I'm out this thing. Yee.